Hello everyone, I'm Jiang. In this lesson, we will learn about special passenger services for disabled travelers. As usual, let's start by watching a piece of material. Right here is. There's not much of a threshold, you can really just roll right on, and this area on the 747 is a little bit wider. But what really matters is when you turn the corner right here. This space is much wider than it is on some of the smaller planes that have been on. So once she gets the bag situated, I'm gonna flip up the handle. And next thing I'm gonna do is get my legs out of the way. It's a little tricky cause there's not a whole lot of room to work with right there. You just gotta kind of get them out of the way as much as you can. And of course they're gonna try to help me transfer over. But I've done this once or twice and I'm sure you have too. So once you do get your legs in the final position, I'm gonna pull off the seat cushion right there. And I'm actually gonna sit against the window. On top of the seat cushion right there. I'm telling her to leave the wheel locks on, because I don't want it sliding around underneath the plane. So next I'm going to just slide over, and once I get my legs situated, that's the position I'm going to be on the rest of the flight. First, let's understand what disabled passengers are. Disabled passengers refer to those with physical defects, disabilities, and those who suddenly fall ill during the flight. These individuals may have poorer self-care abilities compared to others, but they have very strong self-esteem. When serving them, we should first ask for their opinions before providing services. For this, flight attendants should understand these passengers, pay attention to respecting them, and make them feel warmth. Disabled passengers include blind passengers, deaf-mute passengers, physically disabled passengers, and visually impaired passengers. Psychological characteristics of blind passengers. Blind people have difficulty in moving because of their lack of visual perception, generally love listening to music and radio novels. Most people are introverted and do not show their emotions easily. Services for visually impaired passengers. 1. Boarding service. Flight attendants take the initiative to introduce themselves, get their consent, and warmly assist them. 2. Seating service. After seating, help place carry-on items, assist with fastening the seat belt, and explain how to unfasten it. 3. Introducing cabin service facilities. Introduce the direction, location, and way of using emergency equipment to blind passengers, and teach them how to use it. 4. Introducing the types of meals and providing special services. Usually, the meal tray is compared to a clock. To introduce the specific positions, tell passengers where to start eating, and warn which one is hot. If necessary, you can also hold the passenger's hand to let them touch it themselves. Deaf and mute passengers. Psychological characteristics of deaf-mute passengers. The loss of hearing has a severe impact on people's cognitive activities, so they have unstable emotions and are prone to changes. The emotions of deaf-mute people lack subtlety and are easy to reveal. Services for hearing-impaired passengers. 1. Introducing cabin service facilities. Flight attendants should take the initiative to show them how to use the seatbelt. Seat adjustment, reading light, call button, headphones, and the location of buttons. 2. In-flight service. Flight attendants should inform passengers of important information, such as delays or flight changes. Passengers with reduced mobility. For passengers with lower limb disabilities. First, when boarding and disembarking the plane, there should be flight attendants to assist, escort passengers to their seats, or use a small cart or wheelchair to board and disembark the aircraft. Secondly, when arranging seats, consider the comfort, safety, and convenience for the passengers to get on and off the plane. Flight attendants help passengers fasten their seat belts and demonstrate how to unfasten them. During long journeys, encourage passengers with arthritis to stand or move the affected parts, and proactively provide blankets for warmth. For passengers with upper limb disabilities, firstly, flight attendants should actively help passengers with upper limb disabilities carry and place their carry-on items. Secondly, after passengers are seated, proactively offer pillows or blankets to cushion the injured person's arm, help fasten the seat belt, and demonstrate how to unfasten it. Thirdly, proactively send books, newspapers, and magazines, and assist with dressing and undressing. Fourthly, when serving beverages and meals, help set up the small table. After obtaining consent, assist in cutting meat and fruits into small pieces for passengers to eat with a fork. Passengers or disabled individuals requiring wheelchairs are divided into 3 different situations, indicated by the following codes. WCHR passengers can board and disembark the aircraft by themselves and walk to their seats within the cabin. WCHS passengers cannot board or disembark the aircraft, but can walk to their seats within the cabin. WCHC passengers are completely unable to move on their own and require assistance or carrying to be brought to their seats. Services for wheelchair passengers. 1. Designating a specific person to take care. 2. Flight attendants assisting passengers in using the restroom. 3. Providing blankets as needed during the flight. 4. Notifying the flight crew to arrange a wheelchair before landing. In the service of disabled passengers, we should be familiar with the key points. During boarding. 1. Provide help when boarding and disembarking. 2. After passengers are seated, proactively offer pillows or blankets. Help fasten the seat belt and demonstrate how to unfasten it. 3. Proactively deliver books, newspapers, and magazines, and assist with dressing and undressing. 4. For passengers with lower limb disabilities, there should be flight attendants to assist, or to carts or wheelchairs. 5. When arranging seats, consider the comfort and safety and convenience for passengers to get on and off the plane during the service. 1. When serving beverages and meals, Help set up the small table. 2. Pay attention and observe the passengers. 3. Proactively help and care for passengers during long journeys. 4. When caring for passengers with various disabilities, take into account the wishes of the patient, do not touch the affected areas, and hurt their self-esteem. 5. Pay special attention when communicating with passengers during disembarking. 1. Disabled passengers are generally boarded first and disembarked last. 2. Help passengers organize their carry-on items and escort them off the plane. Today, we learned about services for disabled passengers. Within the scope of special passenger services, in terms of services for disabled passengers, we must understand their mental needs, respect them, and make them feel warmth. Also, follow the principle of boarding first and disembarking last, providing timely assistance to them. That concludes today's lesson. I'm Jiang. See you in the next class.